Breaking news coming out today, September the 12th, 2025. It is 8:24 a.m. We've heard in the past hour that the suspected shooter of Charlie Kirk has been captured. Let's take a look at the latest headlines so you can see it for yourself. I'm also going to play for you the video footage as Donald Trump made this announcement this morning. And we are also awaiting a live press conference that will start soon, just so you can see it here. I've got the live feed up. We're going to wait. If this comes on, I'm just going to jump right to it for you so we can see it. But let's take a look at the headlines so you can see it for yourself here. Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah, ID'd as Charlie Kirk's shooting suspect after his father turned him in. Trump says we have him. I'm going to play for you the video footage here in just a second. Live update. Trump says the suspect in Charlie Kirk's killing is in custody. You can see this coming out just within the past hour this morning. Charlie Kirk update live 11 minutes ago. Live updates. Trump says the person is in custody in connection with Kirk's shooting. President Trump cautioned that the information was preliminary. The FBI and the other authorities did not immediately confirm his account. They are holding a news conference soon on the latest in the investigation. This updated 12 minutes ago. Like I said, I'm watching the live feed for you. As soon as it comes on, we're going to cut right to it. Charlie Kirk shooting suspect caught. Trump says live updates coming in. Now, let me go ahead and share with you the video footage so you can see it for yourself, what Trump had to say. And if you appreciate the updates, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to stay up to date. Let's take a look at the footage so you can see it for yourself.
Yesterday, you were at the 9/11 memorial. We were all watching that.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Mr. President,
and he's in custody.
Your suspicion was that he was radical left, and now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on here?
Job. Yeah,
Mr.
I'll
President.
tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him, you know, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you? Huh?
Thank you.
You always have breaking news, Ainsley. Sean's going to be very disappointed that that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the
I think
police
so.
officers that got this
I
guy.
think they did a great job. Everybody worked together. Pam Bondi is incredible, by the way. People don't know what a star she is. She's incredible. And it all worked out.
Could I ask you just some clarification? So a pastor was able to turn him in, and where they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there. And then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in. And they, so I understand it. And again, subject to change. But, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
Did the father know about what the son had done?
I don't know. I'm going to let you get all those questions later, because I can't tell you how accurate. The bottom line is they have somebody that they think did it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And clips.
All right, you guys, let's take a look at some more footage that came out. And also, if you missed it last night, the FBI around 9 o'clock last night, Central Standard Time, I think, if I remember correctly, released that additional video footage and the photos. And I think that is what they're saying. Somebody recognized him. They said it was a pastor and the individual's father that identified him and turned him in. Now, we're going to take a look here at more details in just a second, but let's take a look at some more video footage that just came out in the past hour, coming out from Live Now with Fox.
I do want to let you know that we are hearing from Fox News, courtesy of President Trump, who spoke to them a short time ago, that a suspect is now in custody in connection with the murder of Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated there on Wednesday while speaking over at Utah Valley University. We did have these photos that were released just yesterday showing who investigators say they were looking for. Now, they did label this person a person of interest, others referring to them as a suspect interchangeably. Now, it's not clear quite yet if this is the situation here and that if this person is the actual suspect that was taken into custody. We do have very limited details, but what we know comes from President Trump, who did say, quote, with a high degree of certainty, he believes the suspect is in custody. Now, he also said that he doesn't want Charlie to be remembered in the way of that graphic video that's been circulated all over social media. He also said, quote, with a high degree of certainty, we have him. Trump said a minister who's also involved with law enforcement turned in the suspect to authorities. Quote, somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. Again, that is a direct quote coming in from President Trump as he was speaking with Fox News a short time ago. We also have this post coming in here from Fox. This is Matt Finn with Fox News Channel, who says sources tell Fox that Charlie Kirk assassin was taken into custody in southern Utah. We are on the ground and on the way. If you were watching a bit earlier, you did see that we had Connor Hansen with Fox News Live for us. We'll try to get him to join us here live, maybe in the next little bit, to break down more about what we found and at this point, what they're still working to figure out. Now, if you are just joining us, we have a lot of new information as we know that according to President Trump, the person responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. I do want to show you this video that was released by the FBI just yesterday, and they say that it shows the shooter there at Utah Valley University seen jumping from the rooftop of a building after that gunshot was fired. Agents saying around 12 p.m. local time on Wednesday, so less than 48 hours ago, the gunman was seen climbing up to the rooftop. Then, after killing Charlie Kirk, they say he jumps off and runs away.
There you have it, you guys. Now, in addition to that, we had this video footage released last night. Let's go ahead and take a look so that way you can see it. This is actually him walking through the neighborhood, and you're going to be able to see that he's walking with what they said was a limp, and it's because hidden in his pant pocket, or his pant sleeve going down his pants and his shirt, is the rifle that he used in the attack. Let's take a look at this, and I still have my eye on the live feed so that way we can see when it comes up, when the press briefing starts up, we can be ready for it. But let's take a look at this as well.
We also have new video of what police are looking at right now this hour. TMZ has obtained new video of the before and after images of the suspect accused of killing Charlie Kirk. I want to show you the first video here. This is of the suspect walking to the venue in this neighborhood. Take a look. You can see the images now of that suspect. They're walking in the street. And if you can see, the person is walking with a limp there, and it is believed to be because that person has a rifle in the pants, and they are walking very difficult because of that object that is inside of the pants. Take a look here of that limp right there. And you can see there the suspect continuing to walk the street there, very close to where the venue was. And then this is after where we see now that suspect clearly running in the field. And this was all obtained there by TMZ. And of course, police are looking at that. The feds are looking at that as well. But this is the newest video that we are seeing of all this play out. And again, just happening moments ago as well, we are getting a new shot of the person of interest, the suspect, where these new images just released by the Utah Department of Public Safety. I want to show you this one as well, a little bit closer up. You can see what they are hoping that by releasing these photos and images, that somebody out there is going to recognize this individual. There is a $100,000 reward for the capture and arrest of this individual that is accused of killing Charlie Kirk just yesterday. All right, we are going to be keeping an eye on all of this here for you on Live Now from Fox. Again, we are 45 minutes away from a FBI news.
And there you have it, you guys. Now we are hearing that somebody did recognize him, and that somebody was a pastor and his father, as we heard from Trump this morning. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the articles that have just been coming out, so that way you can see the latest. This individual, they're saying his name is Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, from Utah, ID'd as Charlie Kirk's shooting suspect after father turned him in. Trump says we have him, and here's that video footage you can see after the shooting took place, him walking right over here, walking off, getting ready to cross the street in black. That was the footage that was released by the FBI last night. Now, this article says that President Trump announced early Friday that a suspect for Charlie Kirk's assassination was turned in by his father, with law enforcement sources telling the Post it is a 22-year-old Utah local by the name of Tyler Robinson. I think with a high degree of certainty we have him, Trump told Fox and Friends during a live interview at the cable giant's Manhattan studio, saying he heard just minutes before his 8 a.m. interview. So again, this coming out in about the past hour and a half now. That was 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 a.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas. So it's 8:38 right now. The past hour and a half, this news has been coming out. Somebody who was very close to him turned him in, the president said, then revealing it was the suspect's dad who relayed it through a minister who was involved with law enforcement. I hope he's going to be found guilty, and I hope he gets the death penalty. What he did, Charlie Kirk was the finest person, and he didn't deserve this. And we've been hearing that they have been saying that they are going to do the death penalty. Trump did not ID the suspect. However, law enforcement sources told the Post that it was Robinson who lived in Utah. Investigators have scheduled a public update for later this morning. The suspect was allegedly believed to have fired a single shot from an elevated position about 200 yards from the tent where Kirk, 31, was seated at the university's Lucie Center, authorities and sources previously told the Post. And there you can see that moment when Charlie Kirk was hit in the neck and he falls over to the left. And you can see all the crowd right here in that moment. The moment that Kirk was fatally shot in the neck during his American Comeback Tour event at Utah Valley University. Now, initial reports describe the suspect as a gunman wearing jeans, a black shirt, and a black vest perched with a long rifle atop a building east of the school's library. Kirk, the co-founder of Turning Point USA and dad of two, had just answered a question from an audience member about mass shootings committed by transgender people at the outdoor event on the campus in Ormond, where he was hit by a single blast of gunfire. The conservative influencer jerked back and appeared to recoil in pain and grab at his neck as the crack of a single gunshot rang out from the crowd, sending thousands of spectators into panic. Dramatic video from the scene showed. Now, let me know your thoughts on this. Have you seen the video? If you saw the video footage of the assassination, put yes. If no, put no. I would disagree with what I saw from this. It didn't appear that he jerked back, recoiled in pain, and grabbed his neck. To me, it looked like he just was hit and the blood started to flow out of his neck. And I've heard a lot of medical people review it, and they said that it appeared that probably he was pretty close to passed on the spot with the amount of blood that flew out. And to me, it didn't look like he recoiled or grabbed his neck. In fact, he was still holding the microphone and just slipped out and he fell on the ground. So I think this is an inaccurate description of what unfolded. If you want to see it, it is very graphic. It's on X, and it was pretty disturbing to watch. But in my opinion, I didn't feel like he recoiled. He didn't grab at his neck like described here. It just was a shot, and he was pretty much gone. Let me know. Put agree if you agree with me. Put disagree if you feel like you saw something else from the footage online. Now you can see here the 200-yard shot at the UVU courtyard. Here is where Charlie Kirk was sitting, where he was speaking. 200 yards away, perched atop this building here, you can see a photo that was taken of the individual up there is where he sent out the shot. I didn't watch, Trump told Fox News on Friday, of the shocking graphic videos. I heard about it. I would have never made a good doctor. Let me put it that way, President said. I mean, I heard enough. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to remember Charlie that way. And yeah, a lot of people that saw it, it's just when you first see it, it's disturbing to see what unfolded. Officers from at least 4 law enforcement agencies were involved in the manhunt, including the FBI, the Ormond Police, the Utah Department of Public Safety, and the Utah Valley University Police. And there you can see the rifle that was found in the woods. The bolt-action rifle was recovered near the scene where Kirk was shot. Here you can see an image. It says law enforcement officials are preparing to sweep the building at UVU on September 10, 2025. FBI agents searching a wooded area near the scene of the shooting September 11, 2025. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel announced hours after the cold-blooded murder that a person of interest was in custody, then later said that he had been released after questioning. That person was not the same one as being eyed now. And they actually took in 2 individuals, and both of those individuals that they brought in, they said they were not the individuals that were part of the shooting, and they released them. And those individuals, we heard, actually were receiving a lot of death threats and persecution, but those were not the people that committed the shooting. Now they believe they have apprehended the shooter. The FBI had also released a tip line on Wednesday evening, urging attendees to come forward with more information and footage of the event, and on Thursday offered a $100,000 reward for information leading to the suspect's identification and capture. And here you can see moments after the shot rang out, the crowd at Kirk's event dove to the ground after the shots were fired. Now, the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie, President Trump wrote in a mournful post on Truth Social after the news of Kirk's death spread. He later said that he was filled with grief and anger at the erroneous assassination of Charlie Kirk in a video post on the platform. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror, the president said, adding that Kirk is now a martyr for truth and for freedom. And here you can see a photo of people running for cover at UVU after Kirk was shot. And here you can see them rushing Charlie Kirk's body off of the scene and into a van to transport him to get him to a hospital. Kirk was seen being carried away from the scene of the shooting by security. This is a dark moment for America, Trump added. After he was shot, Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital for emergency surgery, a nurse told longtime friend and former employee Lacey Williams, who relayed the information to the Post and later confirmed reports that he had died. The popular activist was best known for his open mic Prove Me Wrong debates on college campuses where community members could challenge his views. He was in the middle of one of those debates as a part of his American comeback tour when he was gunned down. Here you can see more images. A memorial for Kirk, Utah Valley University, September 11, 2025. Kirk leaves behind his wife from Miss Arizona, Erica France, and 2 young children. This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation, said Utah Governor Spencer Cox. I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty in the state of Utah. And if you think that the death penalty should be put in place, put yes in the comments. We're hearing that they are pushing for that. If you disagree, put no. Let me know your thoughts. And I saw somebody in the comments also put, wow, that the father turned in his own son. And yes, that is what we're hearing, that individual was turned in by a pastor and a father together that identified the young man as the assassin. The young man by the name of Tyler Robinson, 22 years old. They are saying he is the assassin of Charlie Kirk. Now, let's take a look here and see if there are any more articles that I can provide you information with. This coming out from The Hill. President Trump told Fox and Friends that a suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination is in custody. Trump made the surprise news and appearance on Fox News studio in New York. Vice President Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance accompanied Kirk's family in returning his casket to Phoenix late Thursday on Air Force Two, a day after the Turning Point USA co-founder and top Trump ally was gunned down on a Utah University campus. Oh, it looks like the live feed is about to start. Let me go ahead and take a look here. Let's switch over. Okay, looks like they were just testing out microphones. Okay, let's switch back. I thought they were about to start, but it looks like somebody was just making sure all the microphones and stuff were ready to go. So in just a few moments here, they're going to be having the live announcement. They're going to give more information on the capture of the suspect. So I have got the live feed ready to go. Once that's ready, we'll just switch over, but let's go ahead and see if we can get more information from these articles. Trump told reporters that Kirk's widow, Erica, was absolutely devastated. He added that progress was being made in the investigation. Trump is expected to speak with Fox News, Fox and Friends on Friday morning. He will spend the day in New York City. Meanwhile, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are wrestling with the fallout from Wednesday's assassination, which stunned the country, sent shockwaves through Washington, and sparked new talk and new fears about congressional security in the age of heightened political animus. Now, also Friday morning in Washington, Biden White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was set to give a deposition in the Oversight and Government Reform Committee investigation into former President Biden's fitness for office. So there you have it, you guys. Information is starting to come in. Now this, let's see here, we've got some new updates coming out. Let's take a look at this live updates. Trump says the person in custody in connection with the Kirk shooting, and I already shared for you the video footage as that came out this morning. President Trump cautioned that the information was preliminary, but said that the person that said it was the person that we're looking for. The FBI did not officially confirm his account yet. And here's that video footage you can see of the individual running after the shots were fired, running to the edge of the building. You can see he's got that gun wrapped up, puts it on the edge. He's climbing off of the building. You can see he jumps down and runs off. This is the FBI footage that was released last night, and this helped aid in their capture of the individual as the pastor and the father were able to identify him. Now, it says, updated 15 minutes ago, here's the latest. President Trump said on Friday that a person was in custody in connection with the fatal shooting of the right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. And while he cautioned that his information was preliminary, he said it was the person that we're looking for. Mr. Trump offered few details in the interview with Fox and Friends, but he said that a minister involved with law enforcement had communicated with the father of a person sought in the shooting, and that the person was turned in to the authorities. Law enforcement officials confirmed the details of the president's remarks, adding that a man had been taken into custody around 11 p.m. Thursday by Utah State and local police. Wow, so they actually apprehended him last night. The official, who requested anonymity to discuss details of the investigation, said that federal authorities were not releasing the person's name because they were still pursuing leads and executing search warrants. We now know that his name is Tyler Robinson. The man in custody is in his 20s. We now know that he is 22 years old and was arrested in St. George, Utah, about 250 miles southwest of campus where Kirk was killed. The apparent capture came after two people were taken into custody on Wednesday, the day of the shooting, but later released after the authorities determined that they had not been involved. Now, on Thursday, the authorities released video and photo images of a person seen on a nearby roof during the shooting and pleaded with the public for help finding answers. Mr. Kirk, a close ally of Mr. Trump, was fatally shot while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. The video footage from the campus in Ormond, Utah, showed a person running across the roof of a nearby building after the shooting, dropping to the ground and walking across a busy street before disappearing into a wooded area. Earlier, the FBI said that it had recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle from that wooded area. The authorities released images of a man in a stairwell wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses, and a black shirt adorned with an eagle and an American flag. Officials believe that the person blended in well at the scene of the shooting because he appeared to be of college age. They said he arrived on campus shortly before noon local time and climbed a stairway up to the roof of the university building. Here's what else to know. Trump comments. Now, announcements. Oh, just a second. It looks like they're getting the podium ready. Okay, no, it looks like they're just doing microphone tests again. But it looks like any moment now they're going to be jumping to that update. And as soon as they do, I'm going to switch over so that way we can hear what it is they have to say. Now, Trump's comments. Announcements of a major arrest often come at orchestrated news conferences. In this case, President Trump announced the arrest on Fox and Friends, the Fox News television news show, and said that he had learned about the arrest moments before coming on air. Death penalty. Governor Spencer Cox of Utah said prosecutors would pursue the death penalty once a suspect was caught. The FBI has offered a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the arrest of the shooter. Leadership test. The actions of Kash Patel, the FBI director, in the wake of Mr. Kirk's killing have invited scrutiny and scorn. This represents a grave leadership test for Mr. Patel after his swift pronouncements about the investigation revived concerns about his lack of experience. Last question. The last person to speak to Mr. Kirk. Oh, here we go. Let me switch over.
Hello, hello, testing, testing. Hi, everyone. We are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. Thank you.
All right, 4 minutes out. All right, so 4 minutes now. In this next 4 minutes, let's go ahead and actually take a look. For those of you that missed it, I'm going to play this again. This is about almost exactly 4 minutes long. the announcement by Donald Trump. And then once this is done, we'll see if they're ready to do the live press conference. This is him actually announcing this morning that they had the shooter in custody.
Yesterday, you were at the 9/11 memorial. We were all watching that.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance was supposed to be with you. He went out to be with Charlie Kirk's family and to get the body back to his hometown in Arizona. And you said you were going to award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which
That's
was
right.
very nice of you. Any updates on this suspect?
Yeah. Can I always say, I think, just to protect us all, and so Fox doesn't get sued, and we all don't get sued, and everything else. But I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job. You know, getting somebody that you start off with absolutely nothing. And we started off with a clip that made him look like an ant that was almost useless. We just saw there was somebody up there. And so much work has been done over the last 2.5 days. You know, it's amazing, actually, when you start off with that and then all of a sudden you get lucky or talent or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think we're in great shape.
Mr. President,
and he's in custody.
Your suspicion was that he was radical left, and now you have more information. What can you share with us about his ideology?
Yeah, Lawrence, let me just, and by the way, Lawrence is doing a good job. What's going on here?
Job. Yeah.
Mr.
I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
I said you were going to do well. Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him, you know, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news, don't you? Huh?
Thank you.
Always have breaking news, Ainsley. Sean's going to be very disappointed that we're not doing it on his show.
He'll be very thankful and appreciative of the
I
police
think so.
officers that got this guy.
They did a great job. Everybody worked together. Pam Bondi is incredible, by the way. People don't know what a star she is. She's incredible. And it all worked out.
Could I ask you just some clarification? So a pastor was able to turn him in, and where they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there, and then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in. And they, so I understand it, and again, subject to change, but, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
Did the father know about what the son had done?
I don't know. I'm going to let you get all those questions later, because I can't tell you how accurate. The bottom line is they have somebody that they think did it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I mean,
All right, you guys. So that was less than almost exactly 2 hours ago today. And now we are awaiting the live feed, as we're about to see any moment now this pop up here. So I'm just watching this, waiting for when the live feed starts. As soon as it does, I'm going to switch over so that way we can go ahead and hear the update coming out. Now, this is the live feed that's coming out from Fox. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Now, for those of you tuning in, if you guys didn't hear already, Tyler Robinson has been identified as the 22-year-old from Utah, ID'd as Charlie Kirk's shooter. The suspect was turned in by his father. As Trump announced in that video footage, we have him. So any moment now, we're about to get an update on the shooter. And last night, they provided more photos, the FBI, Utah police, and also the video footage. Now, the video footage that I shared with you guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of this as well as we are waiting for the announcement to come out here. Let's see. Let me switch this over to this video. Well, let's go ahead and play this so you can see it. And like I said, any moment now, once it starts, I'm going to play it for you. But this is the clip of the video footage of him fleeing the site from the building, and also video footage of him in the neighborhood.
I do want to let you know that we are hearing from Fox News, courtesy of President Trump, who spoke to them a short time ago, that a suspect is now in custody in connection with the murder of Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated there on Wednesday while speaking over at Utah Valley University. We did have these photos that were released just yesterday showing who investigators say they were looking for. Now, they did label this person a person of interest, others referring to them as a suspect interchangeably. Now, it's not clear quite yet if this is the situation here and that if this person is the actual suspect that was taken into custody. We do have very limited details, but what we know comes from President Trump, who did say, quote, with a high degree of certainty, he believes the suspect is in custody. Now, he also said that he doesn't want Charlie to be remembered in the way of that graphic video that's been circulated all over social media. He also said, quote, with a high degree of certainty, we have him. Trump said a minister who's also involved with law enforcement turned in the suspect to authorities. Quote, somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. Again, that is a direct quote coming in from President Trump as he was speaking with Fox News a short time ago. We also have this post coming in here from Fox. This is Matt Finn with Fox News Channel, who says sources tell Fox that Charlie Kirk assassin was taken into custody in southern Utah. We are on the ground and on the way. If you were watching a bit earlier, you did see that we had Connor Hansen with Fox News live for us. We'll try to get him to join us here live, maybe in the next little bit, to break down more about what we found and at this point, what they're still working to figure out. Now, if you are just joining us, we have a lot of new information as we know that according to President Trump, the person responsible for the assassination of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. I do want to show you this video that was released by the FBI just yesterday, and they say that it shows the shooter there at Utah Valley University seen jumping from the rooftop of a building after that gunshot was fired. Agents saying around 12 p.m. local time on Wednesday, so less than 48 hours ago, the gunman was seen climbing up to the rooftop. Then, after killing Charlie Kirk, they say he jumps off and runs away.
News conference. We also have new video of what police are looking at right now this hour. TMZ has obtained new video of the before and after images of the suspect accused of killing Charlie Kirk. I want to show you the first video here. This is of the suspect walking to the venue in this neighborhood. Take a look. You can see the images now of that suspect. They're walking in the street. And if you can see, the person is walking with a limp there, and it is believed to be because that person has a rifle in the pants, and they are walking very difficult because of that object that is inside of the pants. Take a look here of that limp right there. And you can see there the suspect continuing to walk the street there, very close to where the venue was. And then this is after where we see now that suspect clearly running in the field. And this was all obtained there by TMZ. And of course, police are looking at that. The feds are looking at that as well. But this is the newest video that we are seeing of all this play out. And again, just happening moments ago as well, we are getting a new shot of the person of interest, the suspect, where these new images just released by the Utah Department of Public Safety. I want to show you this one as well, a little bit closer up. You can see what they are hoping that by releasing these photos and images, that somebody out there is going to recognize this individual. There is a $100,000 reward.
I think it's time. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, The suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver it to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great, and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us.
I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country. And violence is tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk, but it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been. As sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens, and for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And Hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country, and I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in.
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on Casey?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not, and by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Please.
This level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. Yeah, so I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Talking with authorities, and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage, again, I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight, last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, I mean, you know, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. This is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us, led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
Suspect was from Utah. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, and was he a student here at this university, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I will just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information, as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
All right, so there you have it, you guys. That was the update on the arrest for the Charlie Kirk assassination suspect, Tyler Robinson. It came out this morning from Donald Trump as he made the announcement live on Fox and Friends. Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah, ID'd as Charlie Kirk's shooting suspect after his father turned him in. Trump says, "We have him." So there you have it. Now we're going to be seeing what unfolds from here. As more information comes out, I'll be sure to share here on the channel and let you guys know. But do you believe that this is the shooter? Are you glad to see this happening? If you think this is him and you're happy about it, put yes. If no, put no. I saw some people thinking that he's not the actual shooter. Let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date as more information comes out. Hit the like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Say a prayer for Charlie Kirk, his family, and for our nation. But that is the latest. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.